Hello, thanks for clicking. I'm Mark. Today I just want to make a short little video. It's a thank you to Patricia from A Little Beatles Corner. She's a first generation Beatles fan, and she has an amazing collection of Beatles memorabilia and records. Way more than I do. I'm more into the vinyl. I have some odds and ends, but she has an incredible collection. So first I'm going to ask if you're into the Beatles, please check out her channel. I'll link to it below. But what I'm thanking her for is she sent me this book. It's called The Fifth Beatle, the Brian Epstein Story. And it's a graphic novel. It's just a very interesting way to portray Brian Epstein's story. And I had never heard of this before. And on one of Patricia's videos, she was talking about how she had an extra copy of this. When she sent this to me, it was in shrink wrap still. It was just brand spanking new. And it's just so cool. But she said in her video, if anybody was interested in it, to let her know. And she likes to give priority to younger fans, not old guys. I told her if somebody, a younger fan, was interested, to let them have it. But if not, I'd be interested in it. And there were two younger fans interested in it, and I was like, she told me, and I said, oh, that's fine. I want that Beatles legacy going on too. So I was excited about that too. But then just the other day, this showed up in the mail, just totally surprised, with a little note saying one of the kids who wanted it, the parent wouldn't let them have it. And then the other one never got back to her. So she sent it to me. So I'm so excited to get this. Let me tell you a little bit about it. The Fifth Beatle by Vivek Tiwari, and I'm going to put the name there because I know I'm butchering that name terribly, is critically acclaimed graphic novel that tells the true story of Brian Epstein, the visionary manager who discovered and guided the Beatles to global stardom. It's an award-winning inspiration human story about Epstein's struggles as a gay Jewish man in a less tolerant era, and his role in engineering Beatlemania. The book, illustrated by Andrew C. Robinson and Kyle Baker, has been added to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame library and archives and has anniversary editions with bonus content. So it's kind of a big deal. I'd never heard of this thing before, and it's won all sorts of awards. I'm not going to go over that because I know that's not what you're interested in. But I want to tell you a little something about this book. It's first I'm just going to open a random page so you can kind of see the. I had that one marked for a reason. We'll go over that here in a second. But you can kind of see the artwork. But it's really well done. It's not just like a comic book. It's there's foreshadowing. There's visual and literal metaphors. It's done really well. The metaphor of, you see Brian Epstein dressed as a matador here. They use this theme of the matador throughout as a metaphor for Brian Epstein's struggles. I learned a lot from it. I was surprised about how much I didn't know about Brian Epstein's life and struggles. I knew he was a gay man, a gay Jewish man in a world that was less than friendly to the gay community and the Jewish community as well. But he had some very difficult struggles. This was a time when homosexuality was illegal, and they took it very seriously in England. And it was he was very nervous about being exposed. They do a really good job of talking about his life in a real human way. And the other thing this book has done for me is, all Beatle fans are kind of fascinated by how everything just seemed to fall in place. Things started working for them. And I really think one of the very first steps was Brian Epstein discovering them and then believing in them so much. He put so much of his own financial resources, and his faith in them was so strong. It talks about in here a lot about how very early on he said these guys are going to be bigger than Elvis, and how everybody laughed at him. And he wasn't saying stuff like they may be. He was like, they will be bigger than Elvis. He had this faith in them. It's really interesting to see how much he put into getting the Beatles to where they were. What I mark this page for is there is a time in his life where he met up with Colonel Parker, Elvis's manager, and he was hoping, he was very alone in the world, and he felt he just wanted somebody who understood the pressures he was going through and how he wanted what was best for the Beatles. And so he had this meeting with Colonel Tom Parker, and man, they make this Tom Parker out to be just an evil dude. And it's very interesting. Just some stuff I wasn't aware of. There's a great afterword too, where they kind of go over the inspiration for the story, how a lot of this story hadn't been told before. So it's interesting that it came out in this graphic novel form. Now, in the vinyl community, this would be called VCLT, Vinyl Community Love Train. But there's a comic and book community, and they use the term A-OK. This is what I would consider A-OK, an act of kindness, So I wanted to thank Patricia for this. I wanted to make people aware of this if you weren't already. I'm surprised I'd never heard of it. The more I read about it, the more I'm like, wow, this is kind of a big deal. So thank you, Patricia. And if you're a Beatles fan, I really encourage you to go over to A Little Beatles Corner, subscribe, and watch your videos. They're really cool. So thanks, Patricia, and I'll talk to everybody again soon.